Including the Charger that is coming from the US, I have 7 screen used cars. It's the best feeling ever. Like, I was really excited with the Untraveled, I was really excited with my Fast 4 truck, but I think this one is the best so far. And I got the certificate that says it was driven by Paul Walker, he's a stunt, and Vin Diesel on the 5th movie, so that's great.
Felt so staged. So here we are in Jorge's collection. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. We're just here in the corner, poking around some of the memorabilia and some of the props. I guess we could call these props. I've been meaning to ask Jorge actually these past couple of days whether, I know in the Too Fast, Too Furious car that we filmed, those nitrous bottles were not nitrous bottles. They're actually just oxygen bottles filled with oxygen and then with like labels printed out. But if I had to guess, this looks pretty legit. So you guys can see here kind of a quick look into what the life of a Fast and Furious collector looks like. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a shorter video. We have one specific car from the collection that I really want to show you guys, and we're hopefully going to be able to have a chance to drive it a little later today. A lot of the cars in Jorge's collection here, such as this blue 996 GT3 RS replica, yes, so disappointing, kills me inside, from Fast 5. This car was won by Brian O'Connor and Dominic Toretto in Fast 5 at that race scene, like that underground race scene in Rio, where with the nutsack guy, the guy who likes feet. So they won this car with the Dodge Charger. Now in that scene, there's no blower coming out of the hood of the Dodge Charger, so it has changed over the movies. But I'll give you some context as we walk out of this glorious collection. All these cars are coming down over the next few hours. What we are going to try and do is to assemble all of the cars, just like we did back in November, onto the lawn back there and showcase every one of the cars here in the collection, which is upwards of 40 cars, I believe, at this point. It's quite ridiculous, but a lot of them are replicas. In fact, every car you see here is a replica, except for one. There is one that's here right now that is not a replica, and it's a very special car. So we'll go outside and check it out. So one of my favorite things, just thinking back to the return of Paul Walker and Vin Diesel in the Fast franchise, of course, this all began when Justin Lin, I don't know how this happened, but when Justin Lin decided that it would be a good idea to have Vin Diesel back on camera for the final scene in Tokyo Drift. That was just a great moment. I love that moment. And that kind of tied it all in and brought them out to Fast 4 and Fast 5, which would, now as we know, would extend the franchise up until 6, 7, 8, 9, and probably a 10th movie. But at the end of Fast 4, there is a scene which directly connects Fast 4 and Fast 5, and that is with Dom's Dodge Charger. So that's the car. That's the car that we're looking at today. This right here in front of me. This is the stunt car from Fast and Furious 2009 and Fast 5. So this was the car. This car was driven by Paul Walker and was driven by Vin Diesel for brief moments. I know in this trim, like I said, when they won that 996 GT3 RS in the movie, in the lore of the movie, it did not have this blower sticking out of the hood, but this car changed a lot, okay? So as you guys know, in Fast 4, Dominic needs to rebuild this car, or at least Letty was rebuilding it. Letty dies, she passes away. Spoilers, this whole series is spoilers, by the way. She passes away, and then Dom has to rebuild the car into what we see here. And then of course, at the end of Fast 4, once it has gone through the tunnels in Mexico and actually ends up getting destroyed and blown up in the tunnels in Mexico, miraculously, a few scenes later, it's as it sits here. It looks like this when they're going to rescue Dom from the prison bus, okay? So when you see, just thinking back to that moment. You have the long shot looking at the rear of the bus. You've got like the haze coming off the road, and then NSX Charger comes into the frame. Paul Walker is driving this car in that scene. Fast 4 ends, Fast 5 begins right where it left off, and then this car, I believe there were 6 Chargers total, 6 stunt Chargers built for 4 and 5, and this is one of those stunt cars. This is one of the surviving stunt cars. No, it does not have an actual Mopar engine under the hood. I believe I'm correct in saying, well, this is definitely, so this is a real supercharger. It doesn't have any internals in it, as far as I know. It's not operational. And I believe this one is fitted with a Chevy small block. So it's kind of sacrilegious, I guess, for, for a Chevy small block to be in a Mopar here, in a Dodge Charger. And it was fitted of course, it was fitted with slightly bigger wheels, these American racing wheels, versus like the original movie. It was a much more classic look, and the original The Fast and the Furious 2001, it had a much larger blower. The blower was sitting higher up coming through the hood. So this car's gone through a number of iterations, and although in this trim it was only seen in a couple of scenes, this is one of the cars in the collection here that you need to spend time around, and you need to really kind of just soak it all in, because it was driven by Paul Walker and it was driven by Vin Diesel. So it has some history. It is a priceless car.
A guy from Germany sent me a private message on Instagram. He's like, hey, will you be interested in buying a real Charger? I'm like, what? So he gave me the contact from a guy called Mark Goodall in the US, in Florida, and I bought it, just like that. I bought it. And then he showed me the Fast 7 wheelie car, and he's like, but I'm not gonna sell this one. But then he got the Daytona from the movie, and he needed money to restore it. He's like, you know what, I'm gonna sell the Charger. And I bought the other Charger too, yeah. But to get into that, I had to sell lots of my cars. I sold my 68 Charger. I sold my orange Supra. So yeah, these cars were expensive. This was the car that was hit by the bus. When they rescued Dominic Toretto, this is the car that Paul Walker was driving, and then when he brakes and the bus hits him, yeah, so it was destroyed from the back. Like, this car was destroyed from the back. Yeah, that's what I know about the car.
So a lot of the other replicas are, while they are very accurate and they are still very important to the collection, like the car, what was it, Johnny Tran's S2000, like Chad Lindbergh signed that car. So a lot of the cars here specifically, a lot of these specific replicas do have real meaning, because people who were involved in the beginning of the franchise have been around them and have given them kind of their blessing, for lack of a better term. But this is real. I mean, Jorge's beginning to get his hands on real movie cars. He actually owns the E39 M5 for, I don't know how many they built, but from Fast 4. But here we have Grant racing steering wheel. This is a very practical car. It's got a full roll cage, painted black. We do have the odometer gauges up here. You know, it's very simple. It looks to have a 3-speed transmission here. And we do have a certificate of authenticity. This certifies that the following prop wardrobe was used during the production of the movie listed, Fast and the Furious. Now, I don't know why it has the word "the" in there, because the Fast 4 is just called Fast and Furious, and Fast 5 is called Fast 5. So I don't know there. But yeah, screen used stunt car driven by Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. Cars numbered as a Stunt 1.7 on Universal Studios car list. Wow, authorized signature, Jeff Castillo. Very, very special car. I just wanted to show you this car. Hopefully we can get behind the wheel of it. It sounds, such a solid shut there. Old school American muscle. Hopefully we can get behind the wheel of it. It does sound pretty remarkable. It's pretty insane. And just the front end here, although you might get turned off by these LED, like super modern LED headlights in here, it's just, I'll always just remember that prison bus breakout scene and seeing this next to the NSX. Somehow they just fit, both being black, and it's a very iconic car. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the series. We're gonna try to go and drive this. If you haven't watched the full collection tour, go do that. If you haven't watched all the other cars and videos that we did in this series and the last time we were here in that series, definitely go check it out.